Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is the random tag. I got tagged by the lovely guys over at the Two Sin Berries. I'll link their channel down below. I highly recommend going over there and hitting that subscribe button because they are hilarious people. I watched their latest tag video and it made my day. I watched it late at night and I was proper chuckling to myself. Their humour is so dry and it's just like me. I love their humour. The little eye rolls they were doing to each other, amazing people. When did you last cry? I don't know really. I have like watery eyes when I'm watching like Pride of Britain, Britain's Got Talent, the latest news, Captain Tom raising £30 million. I had tears in my eyes. Listening to Alicia Keys' song about the key workers, I had teary eyes. But last time I proper blubbered, like proper cried, was probably when Grace had an anaphylactic shock and she was rushed to hospital and had to administrate her EpiPen. That was quite scary. I was on my own with the two children. Chris was working away. Not a nice experience. Blubbered as you would. But yeah, that's probably the last time I cried. What is the first thing you noticed about someone? I've been umming and ahhing what to say about this question, but I think the first thing I notice about someone, and it's probably come across quite shallow of me, but I don't mean it to be shallow, is what they're wearing, what they look like or anything like that, but what they're wearing, because I'm nosy and I like what people wear. I like little fashion items, and if they've got anything like Disney on or something I like, I'm really drawn to it. And then when I start talking to them, the first thing I notice is the personality. If we connect as friends and stuff, I don't really look at visuals like what they look like or anything, but like mostly like what they're wearing is the first thing I notice about anyone, and then it's the personality more than anything. So I hope that's answered that question. Where is the furthest I have been away from home? I don't know whether it's Dominican Republic or New York. I've been to those places twice. Dominican Republic, I went there first with the family, and then I went back again for our honeymoon, and then I've been to New York City on my own, and then I went with the family. I went to the New York State, which is the countryside of New York, but I don't know which one is furthest away from home. So either of those two. What did I want to be when I grew up? That was a teacher, a physical education teacher in primary school. What was your favourite and worst subject at school? My favourite subjects were between English and PE. I adored sport and I loved English because I was a massive reader. My worst subject was history. I just did not enjoy history. I couldn't remember the timelines. I couldn't remember which kings and queens. I just had no interest in it whatsoever. It also didn't help that the history teacher wasn't the greatest and made history not the funnest. So yeah, history was my worst subject. Explain the choices behind my children's name. Max's name came because I fell pregnant in 2008, and that year I got married, and also as well, unfortunately, with a very heavy heart, Chris lost his granddad in February. He didn't see us get married, and he was a pure legend. I treated him as my own granddad, and I'd lost my granddad 10 years before that. Our granddad was very special men in our lives. So when I found out we were having a boy, I wanted somehow to remember him with our first son. Chris's granddad was called Gordon, but everyone called him Mac, and my granddad was called John. So we were racking our brains, how are we going to do this? Are we going to be called, is his middle name going to be called after the granddad? We just didn't know. And then something came up about colours meaning certain names, and I was like, Chris's granddad supported Doncaster Rovers, which play in red, and my granddad supported Sheffield United, who also played in red. So I just typed into this like search engine, I think it was baby names or something like that, what boys' names represent red, and Max came up, and we're like, we love that name. And in Chris's family, they have a bit of a tradition that the dad's first name is the boy's second middle name. So that's it. It was Max Christopher. So that's how Max came across. Then I found out I was having a girl, and because I'd chosen the boy's name, I said, if I have a girl, because I didn't think I was having a girl. I honestly thought I was having another boy, which was cool. So when I found out I was having a girl, Chris said, I'm sticking to what you said. And he always loved the name Grace. Like, it was always his favourite girl's name. So it was Grace, and because Chris had got his name in Max's middle name, she had my middle name, which is Laura, so it was Grace Laura. Yeah, but fun fact for you, I found out that I was having a girl. I wanted her to be called Millie because I wanted me 2 M&Ms. Was that really strange? But anyway, it's Grace. Do I have any bad habits? Chris could give you a list of bad habits I have got. I like put my cold feet on Chris's body when we're in bed to make him jump. I like doing that. That's a bad habit, Chris would say. Probably my worst bad habit is I'm a little bit clumsy and heavy-footed as well. You can hear me coming. I'm really heavy on my shoes, very clumsy as well. But yeah. And also as well, which is another little bad habit, which Chris hates, is if I am always out of bed first on a weekend. Chris is always out during the week. And the first thing I like to do is make my bed. So even if Chris is in the bed still sleeping, I have to make the bed, like, because it does Chris's nutting, because my side of the bed will be all nice and tidy. Yeah, is that really weird that I do that? But that is a bad habit of mine, which I just like getting out of the bed and making the bed. And even if Chris is in it, I'll make it all nice, and Chris can't like put any creases in or anything like that. I just like doing it. Do I have any tattoos? No, I don't have any tattoos, and I won't be getting any tattoos. Tattoos are just not for me. Do I have a middle name? Yep, like I mentioned earlier, my middle name is Laura. What is your favourite fragrance? My favourite fragrance is Jo Malone Blackberry and Bay. I adore it. It lasts for ages. I just love the scent. It's really fresh, and yeah, Jo Malone Blackberry and Bay. What is my favourite film? I've got so many favourite films. People would think my favourite film would be a Disney one. No, I think my favourite film of all time, which I would watch over and over again, has got to be a film called The Little Giants. It has Devon Sawa in it. I was like, he was my teenage heartthrob when I was growing up, and I just love it. I just love that film. It's about American football. I think the guy who plays Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the dad out of that is in that film as well. I just adored it, and I would watch it over and over again. If you are interested in wanting to watch it, it's on rent or buy on Amazon as well. But then I do like the classics, Dirty Dancing, Footloose, my musicals, which are Newsies and Rent, and then you've got my Disneys. Oh, too many. But the one I would watch all the time is Little Giants. How tall I am? I am 5'8". What is my biggest downfall? I'm probably a people pleaser, so I like to please everyone and I overthink things. So for instance, I did a quiz last week. I hosted the lockdown supermarket sweep, and as much as I know that my family are not judgmental, all week I was like, I hope they like it. Should I do this? Should I do that? Have I done too much? Shouldn't I do this? Because I want people to have a really good time, and I really want people to be happy in my company. And sometimes I put other people's happiness before my own. Since I've got older, I try and like go, if it makes me happy, then I'm going to do it, and hopefully not hurt anyone in the process of doing it. My happiness has to come first sometimes. But yeah, I'm an overthinker, and I am a huge people pleaser. What is the worst pain I've ever felt? Physical pain was my C-section with Max. He was an emergency cesarean section. He was born at 34 weeks, and I was not in a very good state. I had preeclampsia and cholestasis, and they give you some really, really powerful drugs. I was not in a good place, and then when I came around from having Max, the scar opened up, and I had to have it re-sewn, and it was very, very painful. So yeah, that's the worst I've probably felt ever, is the cesarean section. And then also having it again with Grace, because Grace was born at 33 weeks, and once again I had preeclampsia and cholestasis, and but the second time round the surgeon was a lot better than the first surgeon, and he made the scar so much nicer, and he used invisible stitches, whereas the first surgeon used, like, it's called a paper sack, is it a potato sack stitch, where it has two little barbarians at the end, and you cut them both and then you thread it out, which was painful as hell. Whereas the second surgeon, when I was having Grace, he used invisible stitches. No, they're called invisible stitches. You couldn't see, and disintegrated as well. So they were amazing, and I healed so much quickly, and I wasn't in that much pain. But yeah, emotionally, how much pain I felt was when I've lost relatives. And what is your most embarrassing moment? Well, that was probably when I got stuck in a chair at the hospital. So prior to me losing my weight, I was a size 24, and being a larger woman, I knew you just know things, where to sit, how to sit, what chairs not to sit on. You just know as a larger woman, and the only seat available was one with arms on, and that's the one which you kind of avoid when you carry most of your weight in your bottom. It was the only seat available, and the consultant said, "Can you take a seat here please?" and like pointed to that seat. I sat in that seat and knew instantly that to get out of the seat was going to be quite an issue, even though I was like on the edge kind of thing. And I was sweating as well, because I just thought, I've got to get out of this. So I tried to do like the wiggle to get out, but ultimately when I lifted up, the chair came with me, and then it was a proper whoosh, try and get the chair off, which gave me two massive bruises at the side of my leg. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant. And then it was that, and also a photograph, what I saw on Facebook, which got me to lose my weight. So yeah, that was probably my worst, most embarrassing moment of my life, because it was a place which I knew I'd have to go back very weakly at that time. But yeah, that was my most embarrassing. I was so red. So red. So that was the random tag. I hope you've enjoyed my answers. I'm going to tag a few people. I'm going to tag my brother-in-law 18 Depper, some more content for you. Who else can I tag? I think everyone else has been tagged. If you're watching this, you're tagged, you're it, you do it, be much appreciative. And I like watching these kind of videos. You get to know that person a little bit better. So if you have enjoyed these kind of videos, I find these videos a lot easier to film than vlogs at the moment. I just find that I'm picking up the camera, recording in the morning, and then by the afternoon, I'm thinking it's the same thing and no one's interested in it, so I'm not putting it up. So if you've got any of these kind of videos you want me to do, then I'm more than happy to do that. Or if there's a certain subject you want me to talk about, or then let me know, and I'm more than happy to record videos. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. As always, stay safe, stay at home where possible. Key workers are absolutely amazing human beings, and sending huge positive thoughts. Rachel, bye.